wrong.
Earth.
No.
Looks like Earth.
Earth? Earth is attacking? No. It's British Hurricane they're attacking first up. Now, okay, hear me out, all right? May on this map.
May on this map.
Is it possible?
Well, we did see it in the pre-season of Overwatch League from London Spitfire, their parent team. We saw Rascal on the May before he moved over to Dallas Fuel, and that was pretty effective. It was actually the only map in their match against LA Gladiators, which I believe they won.
Well, we'll see CIS Hope on the defense first up. Yeah, not a surprise. There we go. May jumping on that Moira. And he will have Aang as well accompanying him. A lot of AoE healing like you were mentioning before. Kenzie doing the classic jump rat things. Just setting up a very, very early trap to get a bit of ult charge to start us off.
And of course, this is the same composition which CIS tried to use to defend Hollywood first, and eventually that was also broken by British Hurricane. So we may see some quick reversions here from British Hurricane upon viewing what they're up against, because they did sort of figure it out on Hollywood. They knew how to go about it, and they did leverage the speed that was given to them by Funny Astro. But now, let's talk about it. Funny Astro has been subbed out. We now have Bucket and Crusade in the support roles for British Hurricane, their third support combination over the course of 3 matches.
Oh yes, we do. And he's going to be on, not the Ana, unfortunately. He's going to be on Moira.
About turn, boys.
Whoops-a-daisy. And they're going to dab back straight off. Yeah, okay. So they are going out quad tank out the gate, and maybe just want to recharge the seal just a little bit and just making sure everybody gets back.
There he is. Going over onto the Junkrat, everyone's favorite Australian raid to lay down some explosives. So now, looking at mirror comp stores, the question is who can play it better, and of course CIS Hope do have the prerogative in terms of positioning as they are defending. They've got this lovely defensive position where they can fly out of a window, but Kib's going to be taking the high ground by force here, using the concussion mine as a great source of mobility.
This is a horrible angle as well for CIS Hope to actually deal with. He can ricochet those off the doorway. So much damage is going to get laid down, especially building up that ult charge very quickly. Speaking of ult charge though, Kenzie has already got that rib tire online. Oh, Junkrat. Will anybody be able to take out the tire this time? He's going to take it quite high, and you can imagine, yep, there's the Zaya trying to get the beam off, and only a little bit of damage done, but that might just be enough to dissuade them. They have to be able to get that Ryan back at full HP. Fusions has to be able to frontline against the mean man that is Sharek on that Ryan.
But that much healing means that Bucket has already got the Coalescence, and just as fast Crusade has a sound barrier.
Coalescence, the beams are going to get crossed, and Coalescence up in the air as they were sky high for the time being. Kenzie already a 50% ult charge already on the Junkrat. Kib does have his available though. He's going to unleash it, but look at the tanks. They're just all over the place. Double Graviton Surge is going to come through, but Kib comes out on top of that one. Ahing and Sharek going down, and Hurricane surviving the Graviton Surge by using that sound barrier by Crusade. Another execution kill onto Unfixed. Another tire from Kenzie is going to get unleashed, only finding Krag and a little bit of damage onto that mech. He was the only damage dealer left alive, a self-destruct onto that point, but it's all said and done as Kenzie and Main end up falling.
An optimistic riptire there from Kenzie. Unfortunately, not what he needed. Aang going to be making a proactive swap here over to the Ana. And of course, this is great on Horizon Lunicon League because you can play so close to the door and you can move into there for invincibility as well as quick healing should it be required. And it's very hard to stop you. Main is going to also be moving over to the Zenyatta. So it's a wholesale swap of the supports here, Jaws. We're going to be looking to instead lay down quite a bit more damage here, as well as keep their tanks alive from a distance, because Sharek may well decide to hide up on top as potentially will Unfixed.
Problem is though, I'm looking at Main right now and I look across the board and I see Kib on that Sombra, and in fact look at the British Hurricane's position here on the far left, making sure that Ana can't get those beautiful sight lines if she's sitting near the spawn, and just forcing her out for the time. Now pushing onto the point, but you got to think Unfixed is going to get a whole lot of charge up from the ceiling and actually executes Kib as he stands. Craggy with that Graviton Surge soon also, but they still almost have a tick on that point.
Oh, removed by force courtesy of a concussion mine from Unfixed, and now he's also built himself up that all-important riptire, but I think he's happy to let it brawl out at the moment. British Hurricane realised they don't have the tools to finish out this fight. Kib fell early to Unfixed. Oh! And Hafikul forcing them to kill him by removing Unfixed. And hey, that's a good strategy. If you're doing that much damage, they can't stagger you. You've got to get rid of the Diva.
Got to get rid of her. Staggered only slightly. Spawn point's very close though. Got to remember that, Harry. Kib, EMP. He's not there yet. Unfortunately for him. CIS Hope, however, have that pulse bomb and a lot of explosives to boot as well. He does throw it out, but gets instantly denied. Hafikul does nom that one up. Unfixed now has that riptire. Not so much luck with that one. He's going to get chunked out as well. EMP not quite there yet, but a big hack will actually sentence Chow's mech to the grave. And in fact, Kib actually finds the kill onto Chow. This Coalescence might be all that they need, in fact. Unfixed's tire is getting chunked down so quickly as well. Only 75 HP remaining, lands straight on top of Fusion's head. And CIS Hope, they commit 2 ultimates to that push. push and make it work.
Happy Cool removing himself from the point may well have given up the chance for British Hurricane to get an early tick here, as Chow has regained his mech, and that needs to be removed before Craigie can hit an effective Graviton, but he does know that there isn't going to be a Transcendence of a way to try and block the damage when it does come.
Eco push here from Hurricane, 4 ultimates now available, no defensive ultimates to speak of, but most importantly that EMP, denying that eat coming through from Chow, and Craigie launches the grab straight on in, kills Sharek and kills Chow as well as D-Mech going, as well as the mech getting destroyed also. 2 ticks now been acquired. They need to be able to stagger these ultimates through. Happy Cool and Bok, they're the only ones available with them. Happy Cool managed to find Kenzie and Unfix. This could be the push they were looking for. Kib still completely untouched in the front lines, got 50% on another EMP.
That was a huge anti-grenade, 2 of them in fact remain, but it was not enough. Fusion is picking up 2 there with a fire strike in slow motion as we finish this one out, and British Hurricane on the map choice of CIS Hope. Quite a good showing.
Quite a good showing indeed, and nothing too left field either. Rather standard comps coming into it. It's something that Angry Titans have been playing a lot of as well, and came up bigger mid on in the season with their quad tank on Horizon Lunar Colony. But it's now time for British Hurricane to go on the defense. Don't tempt me, Craigie, please. Stick on that May. You know you want to do it.
Come on, don't toy with us. Well, it is also a really good choice against CIS Hope, because you know how much Sharek wants to be on this Reinhardt. They don't want to have to be in a position where they have to go and put Sharek on the Winston. Sure, he can play it well, but Sharek really shines when he's bullying other Reinhardts, because he really can do that so well. He has such good control of when to shield and when to swing to try and keep himself in the fight for longer. And also, the remainder of his team are also very good at like removing fusions in short time from the game.
The CIS Hope tank line are extremely aggressive. In fact, Chow was so aggressive fairly early on in the season, it was kind of a bit
it was like a tracer in the cockpit of a Diva mech.
That's pretty much what it was. It was kind of scary, to be honest. Yes, he did lay down a lot of fire and take out a few supports with him, but his supports were left high and dry, shall we say. And this time around, we've seen him a little bit more defensive. In fact, quarterfinals in towards the end of the group stage, he was playing the more defensive role, and it seems to have worked out wonders for him.
Yeah, Chow is doing a much better job of defending those supports, and we did see just how much Chow understands the threat that he presents when he's on that Diva. Like, we saw how he was sort of playing around Craigie, but at the same time was playing around lines of sight as well, and Craigie's still here.
Craigie's still on that May. And we do have Bucket on the Ana as well. touted as one of the best Anas in the EU. You should see the smile on my face right now. Bucket, Ana and Craggy May. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Horizon Lunar Colony. British Hurricane on the defense. CIS Hope. They've got 4 minutes on the clock. They're ready to try and bring this one out. Instant switch up here, possibly. Maybe waiting for a little bit of scout. They're waiting to see if they can press tab and see what's there. Yeah, Eng actually moved his way up rather quickly, took a little bit of damage, but was able to relay so much of that information to CIS Hope, and now they're switching over to this pharmacy combo. 15 seconds is all the anonymity you get on the defense before the great tab button will reveal your composition to the enemy, and now Unfixed ready to try and counter it here with a damage-boosted pharmacy. The question is, will he be able to hit the rockets? Craggy may be able to return fire with the icicles, but of course those projectiles aren't the most reliable thing for taking a fire out of the air, and here comes the rotation of British Hurricane. Oh no, a little bit trapped out there. Bucket pays the price. He was the only one left on those stairs. Unfix goes down in rather quick succession as well, as Happy Cool didn't manage to match him in the air, but Sharek, he's got his eyes on those tanks, and actually, in fact, on those DPS as well. May's just going to discord them all up and just take lines of them like you would the circus there. Just pop one by one by one by one, and that's May maybe switched off here from Craggy. Didn't work out so well on the defense, and that was all the scouting from CIS Hope. Eng with that very, very early speed boost on that Lucio got all the information they needed. And of course, speaking of Lucio, British Hurricane's lack thereof, having Bucket and Crusade on the Ana and Zen respectively, meant that when they tried to reposition themselves on the point, they were too slow and they got caught out by Unfixed, who managed to hit 2 direct rockets and remove Bucket very quickly. He's almost earned himself a barrage for his troubles. He's going straight in towards the back, trying to find himself an area where Bucket can't snipe him down with the Arctic rifle. I was going to say, who's actually going to take him out of the air at this point? Bucket almost has that nano boost, and he's going to be able to lay down a little bit of fire. Self-destruct comes through from the Diva, but Unfixed with a quick exit and re-engage using those thrusters and that concussion rocket. They do have Kib on that Genji, but he's going to have a hard-fought battle in the air. Transcendence coming through from CIS Hope now, determined to actually make this push work. It's a one-hit wonder. 6 minutes left on the clock here. Chow's making a mean work at the back line. Forget defensive. Legday, you could just go aggressive like this. Bucket and Crusade end up falling fairly early on. They've already secured a tick here, and they've got Rocket Barrage to work with.
But Crusade has respawned, and he does have a Transcendence should it be required, but right now it would only be healing up Craggy and Happy Corner. Craggy's not around anymore.
One by one, they march onto the point, and now it's Bocket's turn to get Discord Orbed and destroyed. Another tick will land in the favor of CIS Hope. They might just make this a 1-point wonder here. The 6 minutes left, ticking on to 5:30 now. This is a massive time bank, way ahead of British Hurricanes. Unfixed is completely untouched and still has that Rocket Barrage available. No one is dealing with him at all because they have to deal with those tanks first up and foremost. They finally managed to touch the point, but it wasn't quite enough. Round 2 is going to get completed, and they have 5 minutes and 20 seconds to work with.
More than a minute longer than British Hurricane, almost 2 minutes in fact. And what we saw there, what I thought may well have sealed the fate of British Hurricane, was that Crusade believed that that fight was okay to not use for Transcendence in when he was going to die. Crusade had his Transcendence first. He had a significant head start on Eng, who had to swap over onto that hero in order to try and accumulate that ultimate. And he thought that potentially his team could win that one out on just attrition. So at the time that he was forced to use the Transcendence to go in and try and placate the point, keep everyone healed up, it was just himself and Craggy there. And that isn't as much value as you want out of a Transcendence. Perhaps an earlier usage of that ultimate may well have helped British Hurricane to hold there by making him a little bit more hardy in the face of the CIS Hope offense.
Eng has a rather large champion pool as well, I must say. His heroes that he plays, just not only is it Torb, and I want to see, I was kind of hoping we'd see the Bunny so we'd actually see his Torb, but it is a variety of Halo heroes as well. And you've got to think his Lucio scouting and kind of the main source of information from the rest of his team. His hair doesn't quite get in his eyes at this point. I think he's a little trim in his fringe. Yeah, he's able to relay a lot of that information to his team, and just CIS's hope to reconvene and just adapt to whatever British Hurricane throw at them is really paying off for them. We've seen throughout the entirety of the season how well they are at analysing the other team on the fly and just knowing their win conditions as a team.
Yeah, as a former zealot of the long hair, I know all about how much it can mess with your vision and make you play a little bit worse. That's why I got into casting instead. But CIS Hope now, they're going to be sitting on the defense. British Hurricane, of course, because they had a lot shorter time bank, are going to have to attack first. And once again, they are coming out with a similar composition, and we are going to see mirror compositions. Oh, but Eng's already down. No resurrections, no second chances, and Kib's going to be feeling very happy about that.
Wow, Kib, that was absolutely huge. He sends a... What? Did you see that
bomb?
What the hell? Kenzie just gets dunked from like halfway across the map with a concussion mine. Kib is on fire, 70% ult charge already. Kenzie has his, but he's just run back to spawn. Craggy's going to move forward with 100% charge as well, 60% on his ultimate. Coalescence is going to get unleashed first here for CIS Hope, but this is all said and done already. Fusion's pushing forward with that shield. There's no hope for CIS Hope now to get on that point.
I think he's mad. I called him nervous. Well, Kib, I take it back. You are playing incredibly well, and he already has a Riptire as well. And that may well seal the fate of CIS Hope on their defense here. Main and Eng both already swapping over. Or rather, Main's not going to swap over, but he has had to reset his ultimate because he did use it in that final fight there. Eng, however, is going to forgo the Lucio, move over to that Zenyatta.
Even you wanted to see Torb at this point. There is the tire, there's the Coalescence as well from Bocket. It's just chunking down that mech. Perfect target prioritization as now Craggy gets a completely free Graviton Surge. There's a big shadow that hit the floor, and Craggy's going to be the main focus here. They know that's the win condition of British Hurricane. They must know he has an ult, but with Fusions going down, this could lead to disaster for British Hurricane. The self-destruct comes in, and that shield got broken, but not quite enough. Perfectly positioned and as well timed, making sure he had a little bit left there to actually sponge that self-destruct.
Tridd was very intelligent there with his shield use. He didn't use it while his team were being fired upon in the Graviton because he knew the bigger threat was going to come later from Happy-Core self-destruct and use the last vestiges of its strength to keep his team safe. Because of course, the shield works whether you take 1000 HP off it when it's 1 HP or 1 HP. So managed to get that last little bastion of defense to keep his team nice and healthy. And now Craggy, he does have himself a lot of health, or rather a lot of energy, but he doesn't have himself that much charge.
I was going to say, not a lot of health anymore. That Flame Strike hit a few of them. Graviton Surge used on the pillar this time. Shields up though. Transcendence coming through as well for Eng, sorry.
Oh, that's a great
keeping everybody
pin.
alive. Nice pin. They are going to move forwards now. Crusade's going to pay the price, and that'll be another one team fight here for CIS Hope. Only using one Transcendence in that fight as well. Still have self-destructed that Junkrat tire to boot.
Indeed, it was only a consolation pin for Fusions because, of course, Eng is going to respawn all the way back by the point here for CIS Hope. And now, British Hurricane, 2 minutes of their time bank has elapsed. They have 1 minute left, and they have made some significant headway through point A, but nothing on point B. No ticks have been accrued, despite the investment of ultimates. Craggy's ready to come in with a second chance, but already down comes the
tried
Earth
to
Shadow.
block the Earth Shadow, but it wasn't enough. Crusades ends up falling. They know this time is also valuable now. That means they are just going to back off and wait for him to spawn. He is a Lucio, so we'll get back to the rest of the team a lot quicker than most other heroes. They still have that Craggy grab, and you saw them last time. Focus Chow out first up. No Craggy Eaton grabs today.
Well, the speed boost may only be propelling them more quickly towards death, because of course Kenzie's ready to rain it down from on high with that Riptide should it be required, and there it is. Kenzie has let it go.
There it is from the back line. Can he make it work? It's going to go over the scaffolding and just try and find its way in. It's been spotted out though, going extremely low in the entirety of British Hurricane on the defensive, and Kib ends up taking it out. Now will be a 90% EMP as well, so only a little bit extra now damage to secure that one. There's the self-destruct. Which way you're going to look? The right way indeed. Sound barrier and EMP comes out. Sharek somehow surviving it all, ends up getting taken down by fusions, and even Unfixed biting the dust as well. Domination control on the point as overtime ticks through, but that Transcendence will help keep everybody alive and in the fight for the time. But Chao's mech already going down means there's no real tanks for them to deal with. Crusade finds the kill on Chao, and there comes the Riptide from Kenzie. The last hope here for CIS, hope in securing this point. But Hafikal, he secures the kill on him. They're also sitting, the lonely duckling that is that Junkrat. Overtime all but gone as they do tick it through in overtime. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left now for CIS hope to attack.
In the 11th hour, British Hurricane did bring it out. 4 points on the board for them, but they can't sit contented, Jaws, because, like you said, it's a big old time bank the CIS Hope have, and only 2 points that stand between them and at least securing a draw here and potentially a victory. Best chance here would be, of course, for British Hurricane to go for a first point hold, but they're very rare on Horizon because of how close and how far away that defending spawn is compared to the attackers.
That is true. Do you think they'll try anything cheeky here? They got to, right? They have to. Maybe the May again? Come on, Craig.
I don't know. I think with 5 minutes and 21 seconds remaining, British Hurricane can afford to play standard and just try and play reliably on what they've got and maybe try and inch this one out, because of course they can defend on second and still win this one out potentially, providing that CIS Hope do not get a full cap.
Attackers incoming.
However,
in 30 seconds.
CIS Hope's hero pool rather expansive. See Kenzie Hover and the Widow. Got to see it.
Be incredibly effective here.
Exactly that, because who's actually going to deal with them on the side of British Hurricane? I mean, you got the 2 tanks to dive them, yes, and Craggy, if he finds his way so far deep in the enemy lines that he's not going to be any use to the front line of British Hurricane. It's going to be up to really Fusions or Hafikal to dominate that position or just hide out of sight lines. That's going to be the only other option for them.
Yeah, perhaps Craggy will have to say, okay, Kib, I need you to help out Fusions in the main tank battle against Sharek here, because of course, Sharek on the Reinhardt is a bit more hardy than a Winston, a bit more armor, does quite a bit more damage, and of course has that trusty shield should it be required, but already Hafikal is on the ground using those long sight lines to scout out, see what CIS Hope are bringing to the table. Sharek's going to be holding back, deciding to swap over to the Winston, and once again we are going to see the Faracom come out and the Pharmacy with it as well. Main going to be coming up the rear on the Zenyatta, laying down those Discord orbs, and now we got to see, is Pocket going to survive longer than he did last time?
You'd hope so. Got caught out a little bit too far, and you got to say, Pocket, really the only member from British Hurricane you saw there, taking a needle, Unfixed, taking a little bit of damage, but he has got Aang at his side on that Mercy. Kenzie trying to win out the duel on Craggy and the Tracer v Tracer. They're going to go for a rather sharpish dive, but a counter dive coming through from British Hurricane will lead Sharek to going down first up. That Discord Orb and Craggy chasing him through does end up killing him off. However, Unfixed, building up towards that ultimate, has got a lot of mines thrown at him, but just can't get out of the air rather quickly.
Fusion Shield there was very intelligent. He wasn't looking to block off Sharek at all, because he knew that Sharek's Tester Coil would not be affected by it. But what he did is he left it behind him, making sure that Pocket and Crusade could play in that room without worrying too much about Unfixed rockets, because they knew of the angle that he was going to be attacking them from. Unfixed, however, has hit a couple, so he's already 61% towards that ultimate, and he's tempting fate right now. Don't want to go in for a duel with Pocket, I don't know.
And when you're Discord orbed as well, That's really starting to hurt. In fact, Main's going to go down first here for CIS Hope. They haven't got that backup healer, and Eng now has to distract himself with some other healing.
That's Valkyrie,
they just
there
cannot get healing on Unfixed if he's healing the frontline tanks. Now Nebu's coming out as well from Bocket. Does go on to Happy Cool, keeping him alive. Now Bichao and Sharek, the mech has been lost, and their life has been lost as well for the baby Diva. Craggy now chasing everybody away. Still on the hard defense here. You can see how far Craggy is playing up, trying to get some extra damage on the front line of CIS Hope. They don't have Tyre available to them just yet, but they got an explosive sticky bomb as well as that Happy Cool self-destruct.
See, Craggy's very happy to play up that far because he knows that he's got 2 ranged healers on the side. He's got both the Harmony Orb and the Biotic Rifle should it be required. Unfixed taking a little bit of fire here from Crusade, who has earned himself a Transcendence. May not be enough to save everyone from a barrage though, because a barrage can do about 1,000 DPS.
Well, oh, Eng goes down first up. Is either Main or Eng just biting the dust, and Sharek's going to go down as well. You can't just satisfy with the healing from a Zenyatta. It's way too little. Still have 3 minutes and counting though. British Hurricane just wiping the floor with the rest of them. Does leave them a lot of time though to build up a few more ults there. Craggy was the only one to use his, and it was only a pulse bomb which gets built up so quickly.
A large investment there from CIS. So both of their DPS went after Bocket, and Bocket did die. They did manage to get him, but it was a sacrifice worthy to be made when British Hurricane on the point were mopping up the rest of CIS. And now look at this ultimate bank they've collected. Kib's already going to be cashing in with that Riptire.
Unfixed Genji now. Foregoed the rocket barrage on the Farah is going to swap out. Chao's going to go down first, and there is Bocket with the return kill from Kenzie. But again, investing very few ultimates here. Kib with the Riptire, and that is all said and done. Another push has been waylaid because Unfixed now switched off. He has to build up that ultimate bank once again. Only 30% on the blade.
With that clean of a Whitebird, potentially British Hurricane may want to fold back a little bit and make sure that Bocket has safe transit to the point where he can heal without so much interruption from a CIS Hope DPS, because Kenzie managed to catch him out really early there, and now he's almost got a pulse on him again, which no doubt Bocket will be the target of.
Bit of a different approach this time. They're going to go up on the left-hand side, but the Junkrat Trap and Crusade and Sharek's life. Kenzie all the time just on this point, trying to give British Hurricane just a nagging feeling in their back, just making sure they have to just retreat, but it is just followed up time and time again by Craggy, who does find the execute. Happy Cool with the remake using the self-destruct. They've only got 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. Remember that 5 minute and 20 second time bank, 4 of that is already gone, and they have no ults ready to work with.
4 minutes elapsed, no ticks to show for it, no ults in the bank. Jaws backs against the wall here on Horizon Lunar Colony, which was, of course, the map pick of CIS Hope. And now, Unfixed on the Genji hasn't been overly impressive over the course of the Contender season. Maybe this will be his chance to prove us wrong as he builds up towards that blade. Crusade almost has the Transcendence as well, but there may well be a narrow opportunity here for Unfixed to bring this forth.
There you go, 98% now. Kenzie, that was very close. Took a Discord Orb and a couple of Orbs of Destruction. Receives a Harmony Orb from his Zenyatta, however. Bocket got that nano boost as well. Kenzie has to play extremely passive here, has to wait for an engagement. However, Unfixed going down and had that Dragon Blade. This could be it. 30 seconds now remaining, and a Bionic Grenade does end the life of Shax. What is going wrong here for CIS Hope? They're falling over time and time again. No support ultimates either. This is their fourth and final push here.
15 seconds in the bank, Jaws. 4 ultimates available for British Hurricane. Happy Cool quickly building up towards a 5th. They still have the Dragon Blade, but potentially Kib can remove them early. Here comes the Riptire.
They have to touch the point as well. They have to be able to at least touch. Kib goes in with the Riptire, kills Sharek instantly. Overtime is now in session. Legday, they do manage to all make it towards the point this time around, but that Transcendence keeping everybody alive for British Hurricane. They want to make it match point. Unfixed with the blade gets completely denied, even with the sound barrier touching him, and this is all for him now, but gets trapped up and slaughtered. Hurricane now on match point as they take Horizon Lunar Colony.
I'm pretty sure I saw a nano-boosted transcending Zenyatta in there. He was doubly invincible courtesy of Bocket, and we did say, Jaws, Bocket, potentially the best Ana in Europe. And despite early falters on the defense, falling quickly to Unfixed, he did manage to show us exactly why he has earned this title on their second defense, holding point A for 5 minutes and 21 seconds, just over with the overtime as well.
That's an insane time bank to hold too, and you did say a second ago, It's very hard actually to hold on the first point because of the length of time it takes you to get from the defensive spawn or to get from the offensive spawn. It's not that far, especially when you've got something like a Lucio too. Kenzie swapped over to the Widowmaker very early on, decided, you know what, far is the way to go for here, but he forewent his rocket barrage, completely switched off at the 2-minute mark as well, and had to build up that blade so quickly it just wasn't available to him.
Yeah, he built up that blade. Unfortunately, it didn't really come out to be that effective because he did have a short opportunity within which Crusade wouldn't be able to answer with the Transcendence, but it was missed due to other errors on his team. And pickoffs from the sides of British Hurricane, they were very good at making sure that CIS Hope never had the perfect opportunity that they wanted.
Well, British Hurricane now with match point. It is CIS Hope's chance and dreams now to forego and push towards that game number 5. They'll be hoping for it. It's their map choice next, right after these. Welcome back, everybody. 4th map on your screens very soon. It's CIS Hope's last chance. This band of brothers has to find their rallying cry, or it will be Hurricane taking it right here, right now, and moving on to the finals tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got to batten down the hatches. The storm has arrived. British Hurricane sitting on match point as we move into Escort. Once more, it is CIS Hope's map pick as the losers of the last round. However, it looks like their last map pick didn't go too well for them. However, we are going to be heading instead to Dorado, and you know what we're going to expect on Dorado, Jules.
Widow, Widow, Widow. Genji, Genji, Genji? No?
No, I think we'll probably just stick to Kenzie on the Widow and
I think they'll probably
on
stick
the
to
Tracer.
Kenzie on the Mei. That makes the most sense, right?
Yeah,
that
makes the most sense.
We're terrible made puns anyway now. Right, I think they're exhausted. We can't write those down anymore. Right, Dorado is going to be the map of choice. Escort being the game type. CIS Hope's pick as well, like you said. So clearly they've got something in their back pocket. We've seen a lot of variants from Hurricane coming through to Junkertown. I know it's a map they like to play Bastion on, so maybe sticking clear of that and going for a more predictable setup here for CIS Hope, just being able to make sure they know and grab every little bit of intel, like we've seen Eng do countless times.
Yeah, both of our teams have shown off some very unique compositions on Junkertown, but I'm surprised they've gone for Dorado here, given that on our last map, on Horizon, we saw Dive versus Dive it doesn't look like CIS Hope are really coming man-to-man with British Hurricane on those compositions.
Well, if that's all on, again, the Craggy just being able to just call out those well, not Craggy calling out discords, but the discords from Crusade and then Bocket as well on the Ana. He's just so good and versatile on that hero. They said themselves, they think he is the best Ana in EU, and he's really showing it. Not so much an Ana-favoured map, although there's a fair bit of high ground for her to hide on. It's going to be all on Craggy and Kib just finding their way to the back line. But they actually come up against Kenzie here on the Widow, or do they just forego that and actually decide, you know what, we're just going to punish the tanks and we're just going to let Kenzie do his own thing?
You can potentially play a Widows and Yata on the first point because of the high ground, as you said, and there are some long sightlines available in the marketplace. If you play around the fountain, you can rotate that as well to try and save yourself a little bit from diving Winstons or other DPS, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case today. British Hurricane, once again, they're claiming the blue this time. They're at home colour, and Bocket will be on the Zenyatta. However, something to note, it's not the usual tank composition we'd see on a Dorado.
Absolutely not. Fusion's jumping onto the Orisa and Craggy actually on the Hog. So the ball and chain, which we more often than not actually see on well. Happy Cool going on his Tried and True, Diva, and Kib actually on the Junkrat. So standard support comps you can imagine here. You've got Zenny, you got your Mercy, but Fusion's on the Orisa, not something we've seen all too often from them.
And we can only imagine that this Orisa comes down because they're expecting Kenzie to be on that Widowmaker. And when you expect a Widowmaker, you want your team to be able to rally around a central shield, and potentially they didn't want to play on that, on the Roadhog, or rather on the Reinhardt. But okay, Kenzie has forgotten the Widowmaker. We are now going to be within the safety egg of the shields presented by his tanks. Unfixed and Sharek going to be coming out on the Orisa and the Reinhardt to try and keep Kenzie safe. All of their eggs are in this Bastion basket. Yeah,
Fusion's shield isn't going to last long against Kenzie's Bastion. He's already taken Kib's life. Kib just poked his head over the edge and got it taken clean off. A quick res from Crusade, though. Remember, that res is going to be more than safe more often than not because they are there just protecting Kenzie, so no real dive. Gone for the quick flank here. Fusion's actually popping a shield behind them, but they're just marching on. Fusion's actually going down as well. Is there anything stopping this robotic Omnic monster?
Flank or not, you got to touch the cart, boys and girls. And nope, that is already going to be a point of cruise for CIS Hope. And now British Hurricane have to get out of dodge as quickly as possible because anyone who falls from CIS Hope is going to be spawning oh so close. Kib's doing his best to come in here, make himself a nuisance, but it's going to be quickly put down by Unfixed.
What? Even in recon mode as well, it was firing, healing, and then he had main and Eng to back him up as well. There is nothing stopping this dude. He has tank form already available, 2 support ults at his back as well. Even Sharek's looking good and healthy on the Earth Shatter. British Hurricane, they do what they do best. They're going to go dive with Kib, supplementing that damage with that Riptire soon.
And CIS Hope have 2 support ultimates at their disposal, but neither of them may well be able to counter this incoming Riptire from Kib.
Coalescence isn't going to be enough. There we go. The kill on Kenzie is going to get disrupted. I want to see if he's actually going to stick on this pick because he does have tank form available. Oh, res from Meng in midair. Doesn't quite get it as the Craggy does punish him for it. Remember, 75% mobility loss from the Mercy when she is reviving. And there is the Valkyrie as well, opened up from British Hurricane. 4 minutes on the clock. They've got a lot of time to actually put Kenzie back on this cart as Unfixed did lay down that bongo. But very early tank form used as well. Kenzie trying to pick people clean out of the sky, but it gets instantly discorded. Armor plating doing a lot of work for him, foregoing a lot of that damage, but that tank form really did a whole lot of nothing.
And of course he does have damage reduction while in those forms as well, so really it was just a threat there. Not much of the actual results coming through. Out comes the pulse on there from Craggy. Sharek's going to be removed.
Well, Sharek with that front line going down, and that does force Kenzie back. 45%, 50, 60% in fact. That went quicker than I can actually count that one up. Already on that tank form. You got to think now he's going to switch off. There's too much damage coming out from Kib, and remember how quick he builds those Riptires as well.
And this is a composition what we expected here, Jaws. It will be Kenzie on the Widowmaker and Unfixed joining him on that Tracer. Not going to see the Widow Genji today, unfortunately, but British Hurricane, once again, they've built up yet another Riptire, and Kib's building these up at such a pace, and he's been very effective with them, because he had one particular target he needs to get rid of, pretty easy to get rid of, it was for Bastion. This time, people are going to be a bit more evasive, and of course, Kenzie's going to be able to take those down with ease with a fully charged Widow shot.
Kenzie's looking for a big flank here, and he actually finds a big target in Happy Cool, and tries his must to actually keep him alive, but they end up going down regardless. Resurrection straight onto Happy Cool did enable him to actually remech as well. Craggy now looking for people to exit the fight and just catching them off guard. Even Fusion's doing the same thing. Another clean wipe for them. Kib only using that Riptide. So, a lot of ults now available to them.
Well, on the bright side, Kib is only 5% of the way to that Riptide now, so CIS Hope can start accruing themselves a little bit of ultimate charge here. Kenzie yet to hit the magical shot. He did manage to take down Happy Call, but oh, why are you landing in a trap? Not like this.
Oh,
no happy landings available for Kenzie.
Oh, Craggy's Pulse Bomb might find a happy landing. Does trap the Zenyatta between a Pulse Bomb and a Tracer, and ends up paying the price for it as well. Kenzie does get res, but instantly taken out by Fusions. These economy pushes coming through from Hurricane working out so well for him, and even Bucket and Crusade having ultimates online. Craggy yet again forcing people away. His flanking play on this Tracer is just so fantastic. He lets CIS Hope push through the gate first up and then flanks with the Pulse Bomb or just flanks with those Pulse Pistols.
Yeah, great understanding of how to use the Tracer mechanics, but of course, Sharek, Unfixed, and Chow are going to be making a dive now. They've already found out Fusion is going to be losing a lot of health. Oh, Kenzie.
Lands straight in the trap once more. Kib's positioning of these traps, just taking out Kenzie 1v1. I don't need the left clicks and the concussion mines to take you out. All I need to put down is a trap and Craggy to be right next to you when you land in it.
So let's talk about mind games and tilt right here. Kenzie's being out-mind gamed to a T by Kib. He's landed in those traps twice now, and you rarely have to worry about those as a Widowmaker. Once more, Craggy sitting up here on the high ground, knows how to use those blinks to maneuver around and try and get his eyes on people. But of course, everyone has eyes on him now. In for sight, out goes for the bomb. Not going to be picking up anyone, however.
It sounded like it attached, but it was actually him just finding a couple extra bullets. Unfixed finds Fusions. Kib's going to get the return kill on Unfixed, and Kenzie just wipes the floor with Craggy. Is permanently damage boosted also, and look at this prime time position he's got right now. Can he find that tire kill? He cannot, as it does end the life of Sharek, but everybody from British Hurricane now has to push past this gate and in the sight lines of Kenzie.
Yeah, you got to put your bodies on the cart, boys and girls. There goes Fusions with a deep dive, and he's already taken down, but Kib with a big flank. Kenzie is removed.
Figuring out mind games, but the problem is Kib, the rest of his team are actually falling. Crusade going down early to those micro missiles. They're going to have to actually fall back to the cart and just make sure they don't push it any further. Their spawn fairly close at this point, but Main going down in the 1v1 against Bucket as self-destruct, trying to find a little something. Craggy ends up finding a pulse kill on to Sharek, and now is all in favor of Hurricane as he's just running rampant in the back lines. He's doing it time and time again. There's no way CIS Cope can make that push work, so they end up going for a full jump off and reset. And
this is heartbreaking, so they have 40 minutes left on the clock jaws and no ultimates to or rather 40 seconds left on the clock jaws and no ultimates to their name yet, apart from Unfixed, who's slowly closing in on that pulse bomb. But of course, he's going to have to either wait for the charge to go up, or he's going to have to go in deep, try and get a couple of clips to finish that one off. He needs to hit it on a particular target. Bucket would be the most prevalent, as he almost has that Transcendence, and if that could be denied, it may well seal the fight for CIS Hope.
There it goes, the glimmer of that pulse bomb now available. Oh, lobs it into the bank, can't quite find the stick, and now that ultimate not available to CIS Hope. Wolves is almost available too. That Infosight's being a rather large key to actually stop Craggy taking out a lot of members. Transcendence has been laid down, but Kenzie, if he can find a nice little headshot, will be able to execute someone through it. Speaking of executing, Craggy once more taken out of the backline of CIS Hope. They seem outmatched and outgunned right now. Kib, what is this man doing? 1v1 versus Widowmaker every day of the week, even as that Riptire as well. Overtime now ticking through, and that'll be Happy Cool finding the self-destruct kill onto Chow. They might not even make this second point here. CIS Hope just routed, spread to the four winds as Kib and Craggy paint themselves blue all over the kill feed. Round one is going to get completed, 95 meters and only 1 point acquired for CIS Hope.
Not the performance that CIS Hope were hoping for, despite what was an incredibly poor defense from British Hurricane on the first one. They didn't even touch the cart. They found themselves flanking their own cart, and they just couldn't catch up to it, would appear. They finally tried towards the end, but CIS Hope had already completed it. However, they swapped it up. They went for a more classic dive composition, which we've seen them outclass CIS Hope on Horizon as well. And it feels like CIS Hope, they need to bring out something special. They need to bring out these master plans, these grand designs in order to outplay British Hurricane, who on the vanilla Overwatch side, when it comes to these dive compositions and your Tracer versus Tracer, seem to be outclassing their opponent.
Can't imagine it's going to be a defensive bastion. Wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. This time they're opting for what seems to be Kenzie on that Widowmaker once again, and Eng is going to be there to damage boost him with that Mercy. Now, what did British Hurricane do? Again, you just mentioned the kind of quad tank prevalence within EU, and British Hurricane doing a good job with kind of destroying CIS Hope's dreams with that on Horizon Lunar Colony. It is now up to them what they want to roll out with. Do they do it? Do they do the Bastion? Kib, he's locked it in. He's got 30 seconds to decide, though.
question is, will they do their Bastion lift, which was one of the most PogChamp moments of European contenders, lifting the Bastion out of the Dorado spawn with a May Ice Ball, allowing them to pick off a defending Winston. And Sharek may find himself in that position as well, because of course what was given up by British Hurricane on their defense when they decided to go for the Orisa, Roadhog and Diva combos, so they didn't get any early contests from the rooftops, and it meant that the car already had quite a bit of momentum when it went through that gate. It wasn't, they didn't have to fight for every single meter. However, now CIS Hope on the defense, does look like they are going to be making them fight for every single meter, and Kenzie is going to be making them play in blood.
Alright, okay, British Hurricane now with the quad tank out the gate. Kenzie has got a lot of bodies he can hit. He's going to be able to charge out, though, Infosites rather sharpish, and his key targets will be Crusade, will be Bucket, but they are very mobile on the Moira and Lucio. However, moving forward, does look like CIS Hope just happy to take this mountain area, like we mentioned before. Kenzie with the ability to just play those sight lines rather well.
And Unfix coming in from the top as well, making sure to curl around, ensuring that Fusion Shield won't be blocking any of this small on side. But Kib from the back, he's got his eyes on Kenzie!
He got him, does find the hook melee as well, can't quite finish off the kill, but Happy Ghoul is there to spray him down with the miniguns. Now Kib moving around on the side, that's a lot of damage now lost for CIS Hope. Another hook lands and another kill is executed. Sharek ends up falling. Another kind of stellar, well, less so stellar defense, sorry, on Dorado. CIS Hope just getting destroyed on the tank front. Fusion's now walking through them as well. Unfixed, Chow, Eng, back to spawn, friends. They're going to be able to cap it in no time at all.
Well, there is a bright side, Main and Eng. They have built themselves quite close to those ultimates. Of course, Main had many beefy targets to throw those orbs into, so quickly started accruing charge towards that Transcendence. But on the other side, British Hurricane, they've almost got themselves a Coalescence map. Potentially with that, they can try and force through the next fight. Shara's going to have to be very careful with his engagements. Kib going for another big flank. Question is, will he be able to catch out Unfixed? He's on the high ground right now.
He's trying to. Unfixed has that pulse bomb also, so they need to be able to play up onto this high ground. Not something that triple tank does also well. Now Kib making a very, very sneaky play once more, making sure he's stepping also lightly. Transcendence does come out to match that Coalescence coming through from British Hurricane. Still just battling on that point, but that is a big ultimate now to forego. Valkyrie still available from Eng, and there he goes. Not layering this time, just being able to stack them time and time again, just buys an extra few minutes, and that will be them pushing forwards. Tank v tanks is so lovely to watch, but with Kib going down and that Graviton Surge just popping off, it seems, as that self-destruct does manage to kill Sharek. Sharek, yeah, it was Sharek, sorry, and actually Kenzie finding the kill onto Fusions. Another frontline member going down for British Hurricane. They're going to have to play this one rather slowly. Does look like they just want to back off and play it safe.
Potentially not the most value there from a Graviton Surge, but I believe Cranky was probably trying to save his energy because he does have so much of it. And of course, if he dies, he respawns with that set 0, regardless of whether or not his team wins the fight. And his team did manage to win that one. They are surging forward, but Kib has decided he no longer wants to be a pig. He wants to be a ninja. He wants to be a cybernetic ninja with a blade, and he's got his eyes on Eng as well. No one can see him. He's hiding in plain sight.
He's so sneaky, waiting for those headshots, waiting for that dive. Easy kill onto Eng, gets the dash reset as well. They've only got 10 more meters to actually finish this map. Kenzie finds the kill onto Kib, but Unfix is there to kill on Fusions as well. The sneaky play and the kill onto Mercy just wasn't enough for Hurricane to finish out the map just yet, but Crusade with that beat keeps everybody alive, but answering Transcendence from Main is going to keep his front line nice and safe as well. But another Graviton Surge coming out from Craggy. Looks like he wants to end this right here. British Hurricane are on 2-1 to CIS Hope. They might just see him in the finals here and now. As Eng flies through, gets eradicated, and Main's going to fall as well. There we go. The trickling of players coming out from CIS Hope isn't enough to stop British Hurricane. Fusions with a shatter to finish it all off. Style points in the end, and British Hurricane will find themselves in the finals tomorrow.
That they will. CIS Hope, unfortunately, every match needs a loser, Jaws, and they will be heading home. Not destined for the finals, but they did make it this far, and for that, we congratulate them. Path to Pro, you certainly are walking it, and you are walking it proudly.
The band of brothers, that is CIS Hope. Like you said, they can be extremely proud of making it this far. So many experienced and veteran players, and I hope that a lot of people are looking towards these guys for next season, because there are so many shining stars. It's really hard to count them unless you can count to 6, obviously, being the member of players actually are able to play.
Oh, we all know Jaws has trouble counting to 6. However, he can count to 1, and 1 is what's going to be moving on in terms of our teams. British Hurricane going to our finals tomorrow.
What a stellar and stalwart game that was. Hurricane with the backing from London Spitfire, just managed to pitch them to the post. 3-1 was the final scoreline. We're going to check it over to our analysts, though. They're going to be able to break down this series a little bit more.